People used to call me the thrift store girl. At first, it sounded harmless, almost funny. I was 12 when it started. One afternoon, I came home wearing a second-hand denim jacket. It smelled like lavender, and like it had already lived someone else's life. My older sister laughed. My mom smiled. Even my dad repeated the joke at dinner. And just like that, it stayed. At first, it was just a nickname. But slowly, it became my identity. If something broke, I fixed it. If something was too expensive, I stayed quiet. If someone needed help, I gave it, without being asked. I didn't complain. I didn't demand. I simply learned how to need less. Not in an obvious way, but in a quiet, invisible way. Less attention. Less space. Less expectation. My sister, Claire, was nothing like me. She was loud, confident, the kind of person things just happen for. The room moved with her. My parents moved with her. Everything felt centered around her energy. And me. I stayed on the edges. No one ever said I mattered less. They just treated me like I required less. And for a long time, I believed them. So I left. Not with a fight. Not with drama. Just a simple decision. A job in another city. A small apartment. And fewer phone calls than anyone noticed. I started building my life quietly. Learning how money works, when no one is guiding you. Learning how time grows, when you don't waste it. Learning how small decisions slowly become something powerful. I didn't talk about any of it. Not because I was hiding, but because no one ever asked. Years passed. Quietly. Life moved on in small, steady steps. I visited home sometimes. Holidays, family dinners, short stays that never lasted long. And every time, it felt the same. Claire's life was always louder. New house. New car. New problems that somehow became everyone's problems. I would sit there, listening, smiling politely, holding a small gift in my hands, wearing simple clothes, letting them see the same version of me they always had. It was easier that way. Then came Easter. Same house. Same table. Same familiar voices, mixed with the same subtle tone I had known my whole life. Claire arrived late, already stressed, already talking about money. There was always something wrong, something urgent. I was in the kitchen, rinsing a glass, when she walked in. "You left your phone unlocked," she said. Her voice was casual, but her eyes weren't. They were searching, calculating. She turned the screen toward me. "What is this?" I looked. My investment account. I must have checked it earlier and forgot to close it. There was nothing flashy about it. Just numbers. Clean. Quiet. Controlled numbers. But they weren't small. In that moment, something shifted. Not fear. Not panic. Just a strange feeling of inevitability. Like a door I had kept closed for years. Had finally opened. "It's mine," I said calmly. She blinked, then gave a short laugh. But it wasn't real laughter. 9 million. The words hung in the air. From the other room, voices stopped. My dad's chair moved slightly. My mom went quiet. Everything changed. In seconds. Claire looked at me again, this time sharper. "Since when?" "A while," I said. "A while," she repeated, her tone tightening. "You've just been sitting on this?" I didn't answer immediately. Not because I didn't have an answer, but because I felt something old trying to come back. That instinct to explain, to soften things, to make it easier for them. But this time, I stayed still. "It's mine," I said again. And that's when the room filled up. My mom walked into the kitchen, drying her hands. My dad stood near the door, quiet, watching. The air felt heavier now. But Claire didn't look at them. Her eyes stayed locked on me. "You know what I'm dealing with right now," she said. "You've heard everything. This could fix it." It didn't sound like a request. It sounded like a decision already made. My mom stepped closer, her voice soft. "Family helps family." For a second, I almost smiled. Not because it was funny, but because I had heard that sentence my entire life. I had lived inside it. I placed the glass down slowly. A part of me wanted to explain everything. The years of discipline. The quiet sacrifices. The nights I chose patience over comfort. The loneliness of building something no one could see. But then I realized something important. They weren't asking about any of that. They were asking for access. Claire crossed her arms. "You don't even need that much." That sentence changed everything. Not because it was harsh, but because it was familiar. It proved that nothing about me had changed in their eyes. Only the money had. And suddenly, the gap between who I was then and who I had become now felt impossible to explain. I started laughing. Soft at first, then real. Not mocking. Not angry. Just disbelief finally finding its voice. "You think this is funny?" Claire snapped. "A little," I said quietly. My dad frowned. "This is serious." "I know," I replied. "That's why I picked up my bag." "So that's it," Claire said sharply. I reached the door. My hand paused on the handle. For a moment, I felt that old pull again. The need to turn back. To fix things. To give something. Just to keep the peace. But there was no peace to keep anymore. "I'm not walking away," I said calmly. "I just don't belong in this version of things." My mom's voice softened. "We're your family." I nodded. "You are." And then, I opened the door. Behind me, voices overlapped. Confusion, frustration, maybe even anger. But it already sounded distant. Like noise from another world. I stepped outside and closed the door gently. This time, it didn't open again. The air felt different. Not victory. Not relief. Just clear. For the first time, I wasn't the thrift store girl. And I didn't need to prove anything anymore.